Goosebumps wannabes.
Well, it was like in my it was like in the last podcast. Actually, I think I mentioned this is that you end up reading the author when you read enough of their books. And with R.L. Stein, it didn't take me that long to get tired of him, just because there were so many common themes that either he was trying to appeal to a certain audience, or he had his own issues basically to work out through the literature.
Yeah, a lot R.L. Stein books basically kind of ran like this. Chapter 1. I woke up and I went outside and I saw my friend and my friend pulled his face off. Chapter 2.
Well,
Haha, it was just makeup. Let's go down to the haunted house. So we went to the haunted house. Chapter 3. And there were ghosts in the haunted house. And chapter 4. But they were really a magic trick. Chapter 5. But they were really ghosts. Chapter 6. So we ran away from the haunted house. Chapter 8. But then we learned we were the ghosts.
Basically, Twilight Zone babies,
Yeah, only with a twist every other chapter.
right? Well, see, it was the bullies thing that always came to me. Is yeah, kind of the same thing with oh shoot, which author am I thinking of? Oh, actually, it's Stephen King.
I actually watched a lot more of that Goosebumps TV show than I ever read the books.
That
I think
opening was enough to give me nightmares for some reason. I've become less sensitive, but I was a sensitive child.
I like how they forcibly made Monster Blood a two-parter. They just added on the whole second part that wasn't in the book.
what I didn't get was they oftentimes made episodes from sequel books, but didn't make the episodes for the first ones. Like I would see the title of I would see the title of the episode and it would be like Night of the Living Dummy 2. It's like, what happened to Night of the Living Dummy 1? This is like episode 3 of the show. Where's Night of the Living Dummy 1?
See, I'm glad I was never one of those kids to be sucked into the TV schedule idea, because there were, I believe, plenty of frustrations in the 90s when it came to that. I find it out later on the internet. It's like, what? They got rid of that entire episode? No wonder that never made any sense. Do either of you guys remember Eek the Cat?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah.
It's
I
made
love
by
the
the guy who did Better Off Dead
Oh, I did not know that. I'll have to watch Better Off Dead now.
and One Crazy Summer, and nothing else. So, like in Better Off Dead, there's that one sequence that makes no sense with the hamburger coming to life. That's just so he could show off his animation.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that Better Off Dead. I have seen that Better Off Dead. I'm thinking of something else that's not Better Off Dead, obviously.
Oh, and here's a picture of that hamburger.
That's the one where the guy who played Booger from Revenge of the Nerds kept trying to find ways to get high from the most mundane things. This mountain is covered in snow, pure uncut snow. You start
I want my
snorting.
$2.
Oh, that's right, the Paperboy. How did I forget this film?
I never knew it existed.
It was weird. Comedies tended to be a lot more surreal back in the 80s.
Oh, here's something to talk about. Is Netflix. If we're gonna go on any current stuff, I was actually considering going to Blockbuster. Just because it actually would be a little cheaper, I thought. But their selection isn't even as good as Netflix, and Netflix has let me down in a few odd ways.
Netflix is really taking some gambles. I assume you guys heard about it splitting up its services.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's making the streaming stuff is going to be Netflix, and the DVD stuff is going to be Quickster, which is about as generic of a name as you could come up with.
Yeah, I saw a article online that basically pointed out no one will ever know how to spell that. I've forgotten how to spell it since I wrote it down.
Did you hear about the Quickster Twitter had already been claimed ages before Netflix started using the name. It's basically owned this guy named Jason Costello, and it's not now, but his avatar used to be a pot smoking Elmo.
Lordy.
This guy's the guy on the Quickster Twitter is some college stoner. I'm looking through his tweets right now. All these people have no live, son. All they do is rap. They just mad 'cause I found the right path and they ain't getting nowhere with theirs. Many people need to stop rapping. If you don't like it, unfollow me. Easy as that. You don't need to run your mouth. You make yourself look stupid.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, that was a funny bit. Is internet people. I get the comments sent to the Yahoo email, and there's this war going on between two people on my War of the Gargantuans review, which I barely even liked as a review. The only thing I thought it was noteworthy about was the Jolly Green Giant bit, but it's got almost the most views of all my videos, and it's got these two guys having a war, yelling at each other like crazy. Greg was reading out some of them before, and oh lordy.
Yeah, I don't know how, but apparently a discussion about a semi-obscure kaiju film has resulted in discussions of Leonard Maltin and, I quote, nigga dicks. So...
Furthermore, I am also well aware that West Side Story's own MoMA also sucks great big ol' nigga dicks. Dongs. Actually, not
nigga
dicks.
dongs. Oh. So I don't quote. But I don't quote the not as offensive half.
Oh, and it has... Yeah, Terry Pratchett once mentioned in one of his books, Masquerade, that you can tell how sane a person is by how many exclamation marks they put after theirs, and he set 5 as the absolute, and this person has put 6. So what does that tell you?
That he's really, really, really loud?
Furthermore, I am also well aware the West Side Story own MoMA also sucks great big ol' nigga dongs. And Leonard Maltin, where's that coming from?
I have no idea.
Sacred cows, junk movies.
This shall now be forever remembered as the Niggadongs podcast. Congratulations, guys. Note.
And this person...
So go ahead.
Oh, just that this person has bleeped out the O in Godzilla. So at least this one has some class. Anyway.
Oh. Oh, wow. I used to have a regular commenter on my Animorphs review. I don't hold back on the R-rated words that come naturally to me. I mean, if I would normally say something that is socially crude, I do in my reviews. And there was this one really uptight kind of a Christian-y person who kept responding to all my Animorphs reviews, pretty much counting every time I would say fuck or shit or something like that. It's like, you really shouldn't be using this language when talking about children's books. Like, and at one point, I'm convinced this person started up 5 accounts so that it seemed like more people agreed with him. So.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, when I think of your reviews, I don't really actually figure that kids are really going on there to get read their favorite stories. While a guy criticizes them. Yeah, I see that more as something that people either look back on or look sideways on. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the it gets a little trickier now because right now the books are getting republished. New editions, new covers, some new upgrades, some. It's going to get more interesting as it goes along because there's a lot of cultural references in the Animorph books that really date them, and they've changed. These first couple of reprints have changed a few of these references. For example, they change Sega system to video game system, and
trying to make it a bit more generic.
Try to make it a bit more generic, a little less dated. But then you got you got book 17, where the Animorphs break into a planet Hollywood that has Arnold Schwarzenegger, Shaq, John Goodman, Bruce Willis, Lucy Lawless, and all these other celebrities there. It's like, oh wow, that's a challenge.
The one with all the old computer references.
That's exactly.
Like they'll have to completely rewrite that.
They will.
Oh jeez. the computer book, the computer episode.
Yeah.
It's
like the thing. If they rewrote it, they'd have to like rework the billionaire character from an first. I would think they would have changed it from less of a Bill Gates character and more of a Steve Jobs character. But now Steve Jobs is retired, and it's like now they can't even do that.
Hollywood has always kind of had an advantage when they make computer movies because they don't become dated because they never had anything to do with how computers actually work. And so, yeah, it actually ends up working to their advantage.
When I think of computers in movies, the first thing I think about is Batman and Robin and Sarah Silverman going on to Alfred's computer and the screen projecting onto her face.
The first time I saw that in a movie, I was actually confused. I was like, "What's happening? Is that supposed to happen?" And then I realized that that's how they show someone looking at a computer screen in movies. We'd all be like blind and wearing huge glasses by now if that's how computers actually work.
Yeah, Jurassic Park is.
Is it in Jurassic Park where the numbers are reflected onto the raptor all over it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking of the whole hacking sequence where the girl does this whole hacking thing, but it's entirely a graphical interface. She's hacking a graphical interface. Like, that doesn't work.
It looked like it was meant to be user friendly, so again I was confused. It's like, oh well, they made that really easy to navigate, and oh, she's the hacker? I see.
And like in the book The Lost World, there's this whole hacking sequence where somehow they make a cube that just spins around.
I remember that. Like, what
was that? How that was supposed to work?
I don't even. The Lost World was like. The Lost World, the book, was like. I still not entirely sure what happened in that one.
Michael Crichton. I always had trouble with him.
Yeah.
He seemed to be trying to impress the reader with technical stuff, and I wasn't impressed.
Do you know how many times I got the Jurassic Park book for a birthday? 3 times. From 3 different people, I got Jurassic Park on 3 different birthdays. At one point, I owned 3 copies of Jurassic Park.
I got Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe a few times.